Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I almost forgot what day it was. Hi, I was getting all caught up in my phone and I looked up and it said showtime. And here we are. We are super chats for Friday. I have a little bit of a list so far. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Angel. I have, let's see the current list so far. Armero, Simone, Fernando, Dichel, Emma, Alyssa, Keisha, and Jenny, and Ro. Let me do a quick announcement of how this goes. Super chats are 10 per question. If you want clarification, advice, or guidance, it's $15. That pretty much just gives me the go, to even offer my perspective, my opinion. So that also means one focused question and not multiple questions bundled into one, which some of you guys love to do. If you're asking about a person, normally I pull 3 cards, their thoughts, feelings, actions. But I'm not going to go super into depth if there's no advice being added to that, because the advice is what does spirit think you should do? And that's usually coming from, the laws of the universe, the energies that I'm picking up, the dynamic, and how to get it to move, right? And that's the meat of the reading, I believe. Without that, you can know what where the situation stands, but you may not know what your next move should be, or you do, right? But so you can pay YouTube, Super Chat, PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. But I cannot refund Super Chats. YouTube takes half right away. And so I'd be paying you, paying you back, paying you just to pay you, because, and so just be mindful of that. I do not mind super chats at all. They're great. They help. And, but the other way, if you don't get a reading for some reason, I will send you your money back. Also, I always go in the order of the payment received. So the times are always on your email. They're on the super chat. And if you're on the list, that is how I order you. I put the order in. But once I get started, it gets a little bit more difficult for me to tidy up the list or add new people. Otherwise, we'd be here forever. And people checking in and wanting to know where they are in the reading. And I know how frustrating that can be. But I'm usually on 2.5 hours, 2 to 3.5. I don't like 3.5, but I've been there. But on average, 2.5 hours. So if you know who I'm on when you come in, and then you know where, where the timing is, you could probably figure out where you might be, especially your name will be on the screen. So I'll make sure that. And sometimes I know where you're at and I'll call it out, or I'll just say to you, I see you, I saw your email. I don't know where you're at on the list, but I promise I see you and I'll get to you. But if ever, there's ever a mistake or something, I didn't do a reading, email me. I will refund you. I will fix it, whatever. If you didn't and you want to do it on the next one, I'll put you first on the next one. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think email me I need to have your question when you pay. So I don't have to, my eyes, I'm actually going this weekend for new glasses. Hopefully. I keep saying that, I keep putting it off, but, I can't read. The computer kills my eyes. So scrolling up and looking for everybody's, questions can be really difficult for me. And so if I get your question, whether you email me after you pay, or you just put it in, there's a place where when you make a payment, that'll let you leave me a message. Either way you do it, I will see your emails consistently show up when I'm live, because I'm seeing them. You're coming in at the top. But other than that, that's it. Your handle name. And also, if you don't want your message read out loud, tell me first thing before your question. Please don't read out loud. But keep in mind, if I can't read your question out loud, it's holding me back from answering as well. You know what I mean? Like, one way or another, people are going to figure out the question, or I will be so vague. It does make, vague. But when I see what you're meaning, what you want me, I do know I'm pretty smart. I'll figure it out what it is that you don't want me to say. I can summarize it and make sure that I don't share anything that you're sharing with me that you don't want the rest of the world to know. Also, yeah, I will be taking down the live afterwards, so I unlist it, but I do post the link so that you guys can always go back to your reading. If you go to the community tab, you just find the date. The link will be there, and it's for your privacy too. No, questions aren't closed. It's this one I wanted. All right. So I think we're good. Yes, Keisha, you're on the list. I had you on the list. All right. But again, I'm not going to be able to check update, and I can't stop in the middle of somebody's reading. It takes my mind off the flow. It takes me out of alignment to answer questions, when I'm reading somebody else's. All right. Where is that list? Where did that list go? Let me post it. We are almost done with January. Can you guys believe that? And now, we're getting ready for Valentine's Day. So you guys can tell me what you think of my new little stage setup for Valentine's Day. What do you think? What do you think? I'm wondering if I should turn this there, like a little bit. You guys probably like, what did she do? All right. Let me get all the emails ready. All right. Showing up right out the gate first. Let's see. All right, let's see. What energy is your person in, your Aries? And is she in the process of healing or moving in a positive? Thank you, Romy. I forgot to say thank you. All right, so we're looking at your Aries. What's the energy is she in? And is she moving towards healing? I have the moon card, so if she's not, she's sitting in a lot of emotions, and her subconscious is definitely trying to, she's being triggered in a lot of ways. She may be in denial. It may be hard for her to process her emotions right now. Could be a lot of things changing for her. I have the High Priestess underneath that too as well. So, and I see the Two of Pentacles. So this tells me that maybe there's good days, maybe there's very emotional off days. So sometimes she's, definitely in alignment and it's positive, right? But then there's times when she maybe can't regulate her emotions, and she may get triggered, and she has a lot of past trauma that maybe she needs to deal with and doesn't know how to, right? And but the good news is, I see, and it's the 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords too. I feel like progress is being made, but she's still in denial. She may be, not wanting to deal with her own trust issues, maybe not wanting to trust herself, because the High Priestess can be somebody who, with the 7 of Swords, who can't trust themselves, don't know if it's their intuition that's talking to them, don't know how to decipher, and so sometimes she's trusting and sometimes she's not. So it's a 50-50 kind of energy. But with all this major arcana coming in, especially Pisces energy and Cancer energy, it feels like she's processing emotions. She's going through a healing phase. She's definitely healing, but she may not be understanding everything that she's going through right now. She could still be repressing. So a lot of things could be coming up for her, and she tries to repress it. But during this time right now, and she's Aries too, so during this time moving forward, I'm sure she's working through a lot internally, and she'll be going through a lot more of a change here moving forward. So to answer your question, she's healing, and she's definitely maybe even at a crossroads at time, or she's just trying to figure it out. But there is a lot of stuff she's still trying to avoid. What does Spirit think you should do? And I still see 10 of Pentacles, and I'm seeing a new perspective. Focus on what you're creating for the future, taking steps towards rebuilding and moving forward. Regardless of what's going on. Because even that 3 of Wands energy for me is, in order to keep the momentum going, and because the block can become those of us that are in the waiting game, or people that think that they need to wait for somebody to prove, I love you, I'm still here, and they won't move on. I believe personally become the block. That's what blocks the situation from ever changing. So that person, year after year after year is getting the same result, because now they're holding on and will not let universe do the magic, will not trust God, will not. And, there may have been things that you have to go through to shift your perspective, so that if this were to come back into alignment, you would be on the same maybe frequency, or there's been change on both sides. So we, regardless, have to keep moving forward. And shifting your perspective when it comes to family and long-term commitments. Maybe Spirit wants you to define what it is it looks like for you at the end. What does your biggest accomplishment look like, I want to say something about moving on. In my own experience, you don't have to date to move on. Sometimes when I was younger, that works. But I remember not being able to move on from my divorce when it first happened. But what I did do was invested more time in myself. And I moved on. I went back to school, started a whole different career path. And I worked on new place to, where I was living. I was growing. I was meeting new friends. I was getting to know my community. I had moved. And getting in, well, I had kids too, so I was getting into sports and stuff, but I was doing that. And that's a moving on, like trying to rebuild your home, because the way it is now, like a fresh home, this is my new starting point. I accept that the relationship is over and now I'm rebuilding, but I am open to the new, even if it's my ex coming back around, you know? But you're rebuilding you and yourself, and we look better. It's proven. I mean, you know, somebody who's happy and smiling and a great energy looks way better than somebody who's, you know, complaining about their problems. And I've lived in that part of my life for so long, right? So I'm not pointing fingers here, but it's just true. Health and good health and vibrancy, energy attracts, you know. Not saying that you cannot meet somebody if you're not in your, you know, highest frequency either, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Simone. I love that name. I've known a couple people named Simone in my life, and that name to me, I would take it. I would definitely say it's up there on a list of if I would change my name or if I could have chose a name. I used to love that name so much. You don't hear it very often. Like, I think I have met 3 people with that name in my entire life. All right, let me fix these cards. You're welcome. Thank you, Randy. All right. It's in an email. I don't see, did it not come through your email? I don't see your question, Simone. I'm trying to find it. I hope I didn't trash it. No. All right. So I may have to. Let's see. Oh, I did. Yes, I do see yours. All right. I found you. All right, Simone. My name is Simone. Oh, thank you. We have a new subscriber here. Hi. Yes, welcome to my channel. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers lately. What does the future look like for me and the guy I've been dating, Chris? Okay. So let's see. Okay, so the future, the prediction, which you're new to my channel, so let me just give you a little heads up how I read. I just, as above, so below. Whatever's going on within is going, it's reflected back to us. It's happening on the outside. So even the readings are a reflection of what's going on within you, especially if it resonates. So the cards usually tell me where you're at, tell me the energy you're in. And with that, everything happens in the present. Everything happens now. So there's multiple timelines. I do believe that. I believe, we activate our timeline by making a choice, but thoughts are reality. Everything's a thing. Energies exist, and every reality is a possibility. We can't always meet those realities because we have to totally be in frequency with them and believe them to be in that reality. So same thing as tarot. I can get the best reading for you and say, with the current energy that you're in right now, this is the trajectory. If you were to continue the way you're going, but if you were to shift your perspective, or the energy shows at me that maybe you need to pull your energy back, it may shift the timeline that you're on. So a prediction and is only a potential if you're continuing on the same path that you're doing. But if your energy is showing that there's a lot of friction between the two of you, but the outcome or where this could head shows something good, it tells me that there's still obstacles and it could get there, but you need to change something that's happening in the relationship itself. So I often focus on the first and most important is you, where you're at, your energy, what kind of energy is, the card saying that you might be giving off in a relationship. And then I look at I was going to say opponent, your person, and I see the frequency between the two of you and what the challenge is. But second thing I look at is, what does spirit really think you should do in this situation to move it along? I always want movement. And if you're resonating with the reading I'm doing for you, I'm always manifesting your best case. I'm feeling into your best case scenario, and words are spells. And, so when I'm always looking out for your highest good. And that's how I read, right? So I know what you want, and I'm guiding you with my guidance and I read through the energies, the dynamics. That's how I read the tarot. So, but always make sure that it feels right with you and it resonates. You have all the answers, already. And so if something I say doesn't resonate with you or triggers you, it's going to do a couple things. It's either going to, it's going to do one thing, most importantly. It's going to get you to your truth. Because if what I'm saying is not true, then the only other thing it can be is true. So you're getting your answer. And if something really triggers you, really dig deep into what that trigger is, because that trigger could be the block that's blocking you and your partner from getting even closer, and I'm meant to trigger you so you get the message. So with that being said, without any further ado, let's go. All right, what does the future look like for me? So let me see his energy and the challenge here. All right, I see the 3 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So the foundation seems to be really, we started off as friends maybe, or we do feel comfortable around each other. We like being around each other. We may go out together, or we've dated. You said you've dated. This is the dating card. and we enjoy each other's company. This is also a very social phase to me. We've already established feelings. I definitely am feeling your vibe. I'm feeling connected. But there's still we're still feeling everything out. We're still getting to know each other. We're just having fun. So things are kind of, easy going, but going in a good direction. I do have 5 of Swords. So underneath that, which is either you're second guessing everything, you're stressing, overthinking everything, worried about everything, or do you have somebody around you, a friend or anybody else that you think you can't trust? That gets in your head, especially when you're in a relationship or you're trying to get in a relationship. Now, that can also be symbolic to every time you go to get in a relationship, you hear something that somebody has said to you in the past that makes you doubt yourself or not trust the situation. Or you're seeing red flags with this person and you already know, but you're hoping that something different will happen. Your person, I see the Sun card. Any challenges? I see the 4 Cups. He's not ready for the next step just yet, and he's not certain yet what he really wants. So this can be a hard card to get right here. This one here is his energy towards this connection. So he's very attracted to you. He sees potential growth. He likes your energy, likes your aura. But it feels as though it seems like you may have already developed more feelings and he's not meeting you where you're at. So you're trying to pursue it. You wanted to step up quicker, and he may be saying, take it day by day. There's a good friendship here. I'm falling in love, that kind of energy here. I'm very attracted to you, but not quite ready to take that next step. It doesn't mean they don't want to. It just, it doesn't mean it won't happen is what I meant to say. It's just right now they don't know what they want. So how do they feel about you and intentions moving forward, though? I got the Knight of Cups. So that's also romantic dating. It seems like you've really got this person interested in you. They find you very attractive. This person's a charmer too. So you guys are definitely feeling, and I don't know if it's a new relationship or you've been dating for a long time and it's been like you're trying to get them to commit. I don't know what the deal is, but all I know is that they're wanting to keep it at a certain more social intentions towards you. I see the Queen of Swords and I see the 2 of Wands. Slow down is what I'm seeing. The 2 of Wands says you're anticipating the next move too quickly, or you're worried about the next move so quickly you're always living in the future. You spend more time, even when you're with this person or talking to this person, you spend more time anxious maybe, and also talking about the future constantly. Which is great. I mean, we need to talk about the future when we're asking where things are going and, if we're together, what's the future look like? But all the time it consumes us and takes us out of the current moment, which is where your person's at. And they're here saying, look, it's, the sun's out right now. I'm not worried about tomorrow. I want to go play. I want to enjoy the moment. So sort of in pleasure and enjoyment and lightheartedness with your person. You know, they're interested in you and their next intentions here. It looks like, you know, you got somebody who is studying you, who's getting to know you, who admires you, who's intrigued by you, you know, thinks you're very brilliant and smart. And, you know, this is Libra energy. So you're probably, you know, obviously very attractive. But I am seeing what Spirit wants you to know here. The Two of Wands, it's moving forward, but maybe letting go a little bit of control because of past circumstances. But also it says, you know, if this is too new, you know, keep your options open. Don't get emotionally invested in somebody too soon who hasn't shown up for you yet. You know, jumping the gun when this could be just somebody that you're only meant to go on a couple of dates with. There could be somebody, you could have options here coming in. So that's what I got for you. Oh, wait a minute. What is the future? We were talking about that. So where could this head in this direction? All right. All right. Let me shuffle and pull more cards. I didn't even answer the question you were asking about. Where could this lead? Where could this lead? Right now in the current energy, where could this lead? I see Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy. And I see hot and cold. So it could take some time. But I see right now you're sort of kind of going back and forth from hot and cold, which means to me, I feel like at this point right now, it's sort of split decision, whereas it's going to take some time before you got to let it play out a little bit. What I'm picking up on is you're dating somebody that wants to keep it more casual. So currently right now, and I want to kiss you. It feels like a, you know, sexual, it feels like chemistry, but it feels like you've got to make a decision here, not to rush too quickly in. You need to make sure this person wants to ground in and make things long-term stable, you know, long-term stability. Because right now there's a torn energy, you know, it could go either way. All right. Hopefully that answered your question now. And thank you for being here. All right. Fernando, a general. All right. I have the Holy Mountain, Soul Calling, Sacred Journey, and Pilgrimage. New beginnings, stepping forward, and expansion. So it looks like a whole new day, a whole different perspective, very spiritual, maybe doing something if you're a spiritual person, going somewhere, mission, preparing yourself. It feels like preparing yourself for a new beginning. Like, you know, it's time to go kind of cleanse, do whatever, and step forward and grow. You're getting expansion. So if you're constricting yourself and trying to hide behind a wall or concrete walls, you may be being called to get out in nature more, or do something, or work somewhere, or be somewhere where you're feeling more connected to your calling, to your true calling. If you're not feeling happy with your life or job right now, this could be a pivotal, that I can't say that word right now, a turn in your spiritual growth in your life. Let's see what tarot says. I gotta let these cards rest for a second. They're getting hot. Let's see. All right, you have Page of Pentacles, but you have a Seven of Swords. So you might be in denial when it comes to work, being a student again, or a student, your skills. Or maybe you're lacking in a strategy to move forward. You're not sure. You want something new. You want to buy something, or you want to go somewhere. You want to educate yourself, or you just want a fresh start, even if it's with a love relationship or money. You got to have a plan. And trusting in your plan, but also I'm getting very spiritual with you today. Trusting in God's plan, if you need to hear that. It may feel like you can't trust anybody right now. And so it feels constrictive, like you're maybe kind of shying off or keeping yourself kind of hidden in the background. Observing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the Page of Pentacles is the student, the one that's going to learn, figure it out. You know, you could be very suspicious of everyone, everything. And, maybe you are, maybe you're hypervigilant. Maybe you don't trust anybody around you, right? And you have every reason not to. But I'm feeling like you're at the end of that, or, maybe you're denying it, or you want something more, but just don't know what to do. That could be where you're just being asked to kind of get a spiritual break, take a step back and pause and map out a plan, whether that's getting an offer or getting assistance from somebody, or, talking to somebody who is doing something that you want to do. I have the Knight of Swords energy for you as well too. So this is very defensive and argumentative energy, feeling opinionated, feeling like you are not being heard. So you may feel like you have to defend yourself, or you got to speak your mind. And let's see what the challenge is. Queen of Cups. So you have a feminine energy around you, but this can also be sensitive. You're overly sensitive to what people say, or you react. You can be emotionally reactive because you're on guard. Also, I'm getting something around making decisions too quickly, or assuming things too quickly. based off the way you may feel about something. And this could be a person around you who's doing this. So you may have somebody around you who's very hypervigilant and overreactive. If it's not you. You could read something, get some news, get some information, and because you have an energy around you, it feels like that you're not happy with. Then this could be somebody that's around you that's projecting that energy onto you. What does Spirit think you should do? I see the Eight of Pentacles. And let's see the Two of Pentacles. You're being asked to make a decision maybe when it comes to work, resources, health, job. Eight of Pentacles. A new job, making a decision of taking on another job. Figuring out a plan if you need more financial stability. Maybe you just avoiding making a decision, and this is also about compromise, mutual understanding. So if something happened with somebody around your job, or about a job, and it seemed like there was an argument or maybe you need to have this argument and you're avoiding it. And it could be about a job, telling somebody they need to get a job, or maybe you need a job. I don't know what's going on with you. But you have choices, making choices not based off of fear, irrationality, or emotions. Now, the flip side of that, if you withdraw emotionally and you make decisions all based on logic, this is saying maybe you need to tap into how it really feels for you and make decisions based off of your intuition, how your gut feels, how you really feel about. Do you feel like when you're around people, like you can expand and be yourself? If you can't be, then you're not around the right people. Even if it's job and you have to work this job, you got to find ways. If there's a way to find another job, if there's not a way to find another job and you're around toxic people, you've got to be really strong in your roots, because you easily become your environment. So you have an important decision or taking the next step to make some sort of plans here coming up. Could be juggling. You could just be overwhelmed right now in life, and Spirit saying, you got this. Maybe let down your guards. All right. You have more control over your situation, whatever it is, than the divine does right now. This is all in your hands. It's all pentacles and air, mind, mental. So everything that's happening for you right now is based on whatever work you put in. All right, that's what I've got for you. Hopefully that made sense. You could have news coming from a feminine energy, gossip, stuff like that too. But also just emotional reactivity is really showing up. All right, thank you, Fernando. All right, Kendra, I got you. I saw you. All right. Let's see next. I think I hear the ice cream man. It still shocks me that they're still around. Creepy white trucks. We had a pizza truck that used to come around in Massachusetts. Yeah, there's an ice cream. Hi, Ann. There's an ice cream man out there coming around my neighborhood. I don't trust that. Once I figured out what cockroaches were, I don't know. I just I feel like those kind of trucks, I don't know, food on them. I don't know. I'm weird. Although I've eaten at a food truck before, so I don't know why. I just it creeps me out a little bit. Yeah. Hello, Deechel. All right, so you're in Cash App. Let's see. A lot of people doing Cash App today. Let's see what's coming towards you in February. Roach coaches. I never knew cockroaches could get in vehicles until I found out. That's what ruined it for me. I don't know why I could never see that, but, and I'm talking like the nasty ones. I mean, they're all nasty. I don't know. I should get along well with them, right? I'm a Scorpio. No. Oh, is that your friend Simone? That was awesome. Thank you. I hope you made her a fan. Thank you. All right, let's see. What's coming towards you? Are you moving, relocating, saying goodbye, or finding closure? You may be, she's your bestie. That's awesome. I miss having besties. Growing up, I always had a bestie. But you could be finding in February that you're definitely moving on from something. Oh, thank you. I do see a masculine energy as well. So that's also taken physical action. So you may be actually initiating a lot of movement. Okay, so to me it feels like you're getting your masculine pants on and you're taking care of business. And this could be, even with you, but somebody else around you too. Avoid arguments. You could find yourself butting heads with people in February. And this is defend yourself. So I'm getting more of, you defending yourself. If people are causing you a lot of conflict or there's a lot of challenges. Now, since you said that you've got a lot of moving or dealings with other people in February, what I'm feeling like is across the board in February, if people try to haggle you or bully you or push your buttons or take advantage or you're being called to step into, defend yourself on all aspects. And sometimes defending yourself is completely walking away too. You don't have to stay and argue or fight. People, people don't practice that enough, and it's so fun to walk away or go silent when somebody wants a reaction. Oh, okay. So using that both ways, like know when to react and not react. All right. So I do see Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy showing up for you in February, which is telling me there's the Emperor, initiate, building stability, confidence, discipline, willpower. Leo, it's like courage, strength right there. And then you have Sagittarius, which is honest, truth, and staying honest with yourself, being bold and blunt, being truthful, being honest, and not wavering, but also being patient. And I think you've got a huge victory coming your way with all this energy that's coming up. But it does feel like it's going to come down to being able to regulate your own emotions during this time, because this is going to be a very challenging, maybe month for you in some aspects with these conflicts. So it does feel like you may be tested at points, but ultimately it feels like divine's, got your back here, of course. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of emotional, or not a lot, but some emotional energy, letters, sadness, maybe guilt, regret going on as well. But there could be some reconciliation happen in February as well too. So you seem to have a very fiery month, which is a lot of activity, a lot going on in relationships. Anything else Spirit wants you to know about what's coming towards you in February? And it's funny, the temperance I was just talking about, and this says, the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. And to me, that just gives me the vibe of the temperance kind of, you know, depending on how you look at it, the temperance, you can't tell whether they've gone anywhere, they're moving or not, right? Are they leaving or are they coming or going? And, but I believe you're right where you're meant to be with the temperance energy. And that comes down to also faith. I see Ace of Pentacles in February. So you are seeing maybe money, a job, something tangible coming your way. This is luck too on your side. And I see the Eight of Pentacles. So this could be a new job coming in or needing a new job. Finances, this is the struggle. Finances, maybe you're feeling like you're being pulled in all different directions when it comes to finances. Maybe you got to fix some things, or you're struggling. Maybe you're worn out, or you've reached the top of your job and you're not getting paid anymore and you want to make more. That can kind of be that energy. And I'm seeing there could be a new opportunity to make money coming in February as well. And I have a Two of Pentacles. So I'm gonna, pretty much wrap it up here. And I got this Seven of Cups. When it comes to relationships and emotions, you could be talking to many people. You definitely have choices and options when it comes to love. And the Two of Pentacles is telling me too that you're kind of juggling life in February. Like things might start to feel like they're getting going. They may not be as overwhelming at first, but it looks like you're gearing up for something. You could be taking on more responsibilities in February. You could be dealing with a couple people or a couple choices you have to make when it comes to finances or a financial situation. But it does feel like not only are you getting this fresh start, you're actually seeing movement and you're seeing progress. All right. Big February. Maybe you'll have a couple dates. You have options for Valentine's Day. Thank you for bringing your bestie here. All right, so Emma's got a couple questions too. All right. Thank you, Lisa. I don't want to date. Oh, it's his birthday. Aw. Is Valentine's Day. That's my chair. Just almost broke. All right, let's see. You're holding your first session in March. And you're a Leo, an Aquarius. That was a constant tension, a tense relationship. I don't know if Aquarians are the most attentive people they focus definitely, but on all kinds of interests, and they're very social, and maybe and Leos, you guys are the center of attention. So constant battle. You want fun, love. Well, you know what? Leo's, Aquarius is as well very social. Yeah. I'm just trying to analyze it out loud in my head. I love doing that. It's a practice. It's how I even practice, just by always constantly analyzing. But it should be able to work, though. It's just you guys always were being challenged to try and find a happy medium. You got to pull from Aquarian, and they got to pull from you. All right. Going back to Sag. I'm going back to Sag. All right. I got Emma. So will it be successful? Of course it will be. Your Taurus 10th house. All right. It's going to be, you're going to be taking on, it's going to be successful. You got to put the work in. That's all I got. You got the Queen of Wands, the Five of Wands. You got some good stress here. That's what I'm seeing. That's putting the work in. It's going to be very successful depending on, the work you put into it. But I feel like you've got the power and the confidence to initiate this, that it's going to be super fire. I mean, and I got the World card. So I am seeing here an achievement, but it's definitely going to take some work. You got to get your hands dirty, obviously, and go for it. Deal with your inner tension, your inner stress. And that's the kind of stress that, it's like you don't want to do something, you don't want to get on camera, but when you get on camera, you shine, or you just go right into whatever mode. It's kind of like that. It's like you're showing up as the Queen of Wands. So it tells me that the second that you're there, you're just going to shine. You're going to get a lot of attention. There's a lot of activity with the Five of Wands, but there can also be There can be drama with it too. You've got you're going to a menopause Q&A session in March. There's gonna be, you got some energy there. You got some tension and frustration and questions and all kinds of questions coming at you. And yeah, so that looks good. And I got the Two of Wands. It's it's the early stages, you know. You're showing the queen, you're being the Queen of Wands, so this is telling me, do you have a full-blown vision of what this looks like? Do you know what, I mean, the better, the more we can define where something's going, the more focused it becomes, and the more likely it's going to happen quicker. But if we can't fully define what we want, the universe has to kind of fill in. And then we kind of, you never know when you reach a milestone, or you don't know, you just kind of go and let it happen to you rather than making it happen. And when I'm seeing the Two of Wands and all this fire, it's telling me you've got to make it happen by having a vision. And also it's telling me that you don't give up too soon, because you're at the early stages. So it may take some work. You may have to keep, don't judge it based off the first session. Don't judge your success. Don't give up with the Five of Wands. Don't give up because of, if you don't feel like it's as successful as you wanted it to be either. So there's two ways that this could turn out. But it is telling you to pursue it. Pursue your dreams with the Queen of Wands. And the World card's at the bottom, which is telling me this could be a huge success for you. Now, the second question is, does he see me in your power? I mean, the Queen of Wands just came out, so that's definitely a good sign. But let's see. Did I not show you the cards that I was pulling? I went like that, right? When I showed you. So I see the Four Swords, and I see the King of Swords. So I got a quiet energy, keeping quiet. Right? And I also get breaking contact too. I'm thinking about reversing it, but I don't want to, but there's still no contact here. I see the Queen of Pentacles. You have two queens showing up for you and a king. He definitely appreciates you, sees your value, sees you in your power. And I don't think he questions it. His honest opinion of you, very attractive, big heart. You had Leo energy coming through. Strong-willed, very nurturing. And you got the Queen of Pentacles too, the same, very given, very grounded, responsible and proud, demanding. All the things that everybody says they, that they love until, they don't, a boss, and, but I don't see any question of your character. He thinks highly of you. You're very intelligent, but there's just silence. He stays silent about it. And he's got his back turned to it. And I see the Hanged Man showing up. And I think you got the Hanged Man the other day. Just recently, maybe the last read-in. And that's telling me that right now, the silence is strong here between the two of you, but there's no question that he doesn't see you. He's very overwhelmed right now, and he doesn't even know who he is, the Hanged Man. You know, things aren't the way they used to be. You're not who you were before. He's not who he was. His life is indifferent right now. He's got a lot going on. Maybe he just feels like he wants to kind of escape from everything and withdraw with that King of Swords, you know, and that Hanged Man. But it's still what's going on between you and him. The way I'm looking at it right now is it just there's no definition for it yet. It's not being defined. Maybe other things are going on, like there are, that's got his attention. Or he's choosing to avoid the situation right now. And you know that could be because of the other woman. What does Spirit, sorry, let me pull these cards back out. What does Spirit think you should do? I have the Sun card. One day at a time. Focus on, our own healing. You keep getting that too. You keep getting the Sun card. And this is filling your heart with fun, play, joy, romance, creativity. Being cliche, it's saying be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Because if somebody's going through or around people that are causing a lot of drama, the one that has the most light is always gonna, is gonna find a way through it. You're gonna be that light that shines through it. But you're also going to be the one that can be hated too. So be prepared for that. That's why Leo's got to have confidence and courage. You want to be loved and liked by everybody, but when you're not, it can hurt. So that's what I have for this situation. Be that light, be the version of you that you want him to see you as, is another way to look at this. Does he see you in your power? What does your power look like? What does it feel like? And enhance it, right? Energetically. Expand. And that's going to attract. All right, let me know, Emma. And Alyssa. Who is coming towards you? I'm going to use these cards because they'll sometimes give me the sign. Who is coming towards you? All right, Pisces, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. That's why I wanted to use these cards. So Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, coming towards you. I see the Hanged Man here though too. So it could be somebody that's been kind of keeping you hanging. Somebody you've been wanting to get some clarity on, trying to figure out where you stand with somebody. So the problem could still be this, not sure where you stand with somebody, with this person. And the challenge is emotions, One thing I love about the people I attract on this channel is most of you are so highly emotional, but a lot of you really do a good job of, being stoic, you know? And, I mean, obviously some of you lose your shit. I think more of the fire signs lose their shit. But for the most part, like very, very kind of stoic energy. But a hot mess inside. We're all hot messes inside. And this is showing me that too with you. Like this person may have really got you up in your head. A full moon energy. So maybe a Leo, maybe it is, the full moon Leo is coming up this Sunday. Emotions run high around this person, but maybe you feel like you can't trust yourself around this person or trust this person, or you just don't trust your intuition because you've trusted it before and maybe it had failed you. There could be a truth coming in, realizing the truth. This could be somebody that you found out something about, you didn't see the mask was removed, or the mask will be removed. Pisces energy. It seems like the same story, different day, same song, different dance. So I'm wondering what the problem is. Why? Let's see. With this person. Earth or water? Earth or water energy? Fears. It comes down to fears and insecurities and bad memories and traumas and triggers and, patterns and cycles, This full moon, this message might be just telling me, I got the Hanged Man here again too. Something's changing. So, it's being illuminated right now. A cycle you're going through. This could be a cycle, another cycle around, somebody coming towards you. There's a secrets that you're going to see. You're going to find out. Whoever this is. And more Pisces energy here. I'm going to cut again though. Three of Swords. Is this somebody that maybe you have separated with, or you have a fear of separation? This could be somebody that you really get along with. Very supportive energy. Coworker, friend, right? Pal, partner. Could be somebody that you've been invested in before. And there's potential to fix this. But it feels like there's a huge block here when it comes to intense emotions due to unprocessed trauma and fear and emotions, especially with the Three of Swords here. A fear of separation, heartbreak, abandonment, all the good stuff, all the goodies. But the good news is all this is coming up. So there's like an epiphany. There's the moon's trying to help dissolve all this, help bring the truth to light and help you find closure and growth and through this cycle that you're going through with somebody. So this is going to be the next person that's coming towards you. And this could just be your block, what's blocking something from becoming more than just coworkers or friends. And that's why it's showing up for me like this. I see the Seven of Wands, which is showing me very guarded energy, very protective energy. Fight for whatever you care about. You defend your priorities, your your emotions, you're very defensive, very defensive. But that can be a very guarded and a defended, like, I'm going to fight for what's right type of attitude, you know? But if it's coming from a fear or pain, then sometimes you may be fighting something due to a fear. Or blocking somebody from getting close to you. And I see the 8 of Wands. So I'm seeing communication. This could be somebody that you already talked to. This could be words that'll go back and forth, travel that'll go back and forth. So a faster energy. It's somebody with faster energy. Fast talker, maybe a lot, talks a lot. You guys talk a lot together. But I see honest communication coming in. What I'm seeing, though, is that this could turn into a defense mechanism. And if we're having honest communication and somebody feels like they can't be honest with you or you them, then it could turn into arguing, and it could turn into a separation again, or it can turn into a heartbreak because somebody's defenses are not allowing an honest conversation. And then on the flip side of that, because I'm a Scorpio and I always see the worst case scenario first, there could be, we're having an honest conversation and your person here and you guys, the truth is coming up and we're reconciling in a way. You could be meeting somebody completely new and this person wants to get to know you, but feels this wall that you have, and may feel like you take things personally, or will take things personally. Or they can just tell that you're protective of yourself because you've been through some stuff. This person I'm picking up on is very understanding, very compassionate, very nice. I mean, you've got Earth energy and you have Pisces energy. So I don't think it's a judgmental, and it's not like, oh my God, look at Alyssa. She's over there. She's so guarded. It's not like that. All right. It's a very compassionate energy, but it looks like honest communication is wanting to break through with you and another person is what I'm getting for you. So let me get some advice for you. Nothing is impossible. Open to the unexpected. You'll find a way. I love that for you. Let me know. Mo Serrano. Does that say? I don't even want to say that. What is that? You're gonna make me laugh. Let's see. I don't know your name. Are you Ro? Yeah, you're Ro. You're on the list. I put you as Ro because I didn't know your screen name, your handle name. But I have you down as Ro. All right, let's see. I have Keisha, Jenny, Ro, Tony, Mel, Kendra, Mr. Pops. This isn't membership, Mr. Pops, but I see that you joined again the membership. And yeah, that's it. All right. So let's see who's next. Keisha. Who is, I have Dark Star too as well. I love that name. All right, Keisha. Keisha, what's your question? And I also have Kendra. Keisha, I don't have your question. Let me try again. Cash out. We have Simone again. Where did you go? All right. When you send, are you not able to put your question in when you send your payment? Let's see. What's going to happen with me and Kevin? He's had a lot going on. I feel like walking away. All right, let's see. Well, I know some people. I know some people do have a hard time. I don't know which app you went through. Let's see. What is going to happen with you and Kevin? He has a lot going on. He's just not able to give you attention right now, right? That's the biggest. He can't invest. And these two cards just wanted to fall out. And it says, some things take time, you know? Some things just take time. And, you know, I got good news and luck is on your side. But you can't wait around for the end of the rainbow to get here, right? You got to continue moving forward. He seems to have a lot going on and can't give you, you know, I see work change, a lot changing for him, maybe a career shift, maybe he's dealing with things that he already was responsible for. And you're like, there's things on a list, and you keep getting knocked down further on the list, and you don't want that. And it's sad because it could work out, but it's just not the time right now, and you're gonna end up becoming resentful. Whereas if you walk away, it says, you know, take time to rest and relax. This is the Four of Swords. You know, a little bit of no contact, and it doesn't have to be no contact, but it just means silence and a break. Hey, we're taking a break for a couple weeks. And when I mean a break, you take a break for a couple weeks and you don't call each other. You don't wait 3 days and be like, oh, I miss you, honey. You know, it's like, that's not what this is about. It's like, we really do got to give this a couple weeks or a week, give it space. And because when we physically and emotionally, mentally take our energy away from somebody, it gives them time to breathe, and it gives you time to breathe, to really think about what's important. If he can't miss you and he's got a lot going on, you know, he may not realize how much he's going to miss you yet. But when things start to clear up, or he starts to work through, or he starts to miss you, you're going to know about it. You're going to definitely know about it. And you'll feel more certain about where things are going. And it's not taking a space as a threat. It's not like I'm giving you space, so that they come running from you. It's literally just like, we need to take a little bit of space because, we're not meeting eye to eye here, but I need time to think. All right, I see the Magician card. So there is still potential here for this to work. The Magician card is full of potential, but it does say which tool are we going to use today, Sometimes fire doesn't always work. Taking action doesn't always work, empathy, sometimes it's time to pull back and put somebody else's feelings before our own. Not if we're, there's a time and place to do this, not in an unhealthy way. But if somebody needs more compassion for their situation, they can't think about you, they got too much going on. It's only going to make them feel more guilty that I care about you, but can't give you what you need. And it's hurting you. So that's going to make somebody, the only thing they're going to think in their head that they could do is push you away. So if I push you away, I don't have to see you. I don't have to know I'm hurting you, which means that I care about you and I want this to work, but we're clashing right now and I don't know what else to do. I'm seeing the Six of Swords. So right now it's showing me that you guys have potential to, this too shall pass, in a sense. We got to get on the same page. We got to keep it simple. We got to stay focused, not bring a lot of drama into the situation, not bring conflict, mental conflict. He can't handle more. I'm going off what you're telling me. He has a lot going on, which means that he only has so much mental capacity to deal with other people's emotions or feelings, even though your feelings are validated. It's just that they don't have capacity for it. So it's going to make them feel like shit, not being able to show up for you. But it tells me, though, that you guys, if you can just take a little bit of a step back and ride out the storm. The biggest challenge is the Three of Pentacles, a third party, whether it's work, other things, life, control. You want more effort from him, and he's not giving you effort. And the fact that you feel like walking away tells me that you've been doing all the work. You've been putting in all the effort, and you're feeling frustrated because if you could fix it, you'd find a way, and it's out of your control. So that means the block is, something that's out of your control, which is most likely, the other person, and we can't fix or change another person. And this Three of Pentacles goes back to the first card that I put up for you, which is some things take time. And that's what it is, for the pieces to come together. So that's what I have for you. And the Three of Pentacles, Kendra, is things are coming together. I just want to reiterate that because I was reading your question, where are things going? And this is showing that on the current timeline you're on, you got the pieces are coming together, but it does require adjustments. You are going through sort of a period of, You know, do I compromise? Am I compromising too much though? So that's where you have to, you know, decide for yourself if you feel like you're compromising too much. All right, Jenny. So an or in a reading really confuses it because new or old is so confusing when I'm doing that. So I'm going to specifically say, you know, new love coming in. Is there new love coming in? And if anything shows me like a 2 option or something that shows or represents maybe there's something about the past, those kind of cards will show up. But I'm focusing mainly on, is there new love coming your way? Or around you? Any love around you? Is there love around you? First of all, is there a relationship around you right now? All right, well, there's a repeat. So there's somebody karmic-y around you. So I think that answers, it can be both. It can be 50-50 though, right? To be honest with you. But if you're attached to someone or something, it's going to repeat itself because you want it on some level too. And you do have somewhat control over, you know, your own karma, you know. And so a karmic cycle can be a soul lesson, somebody that's coming back around that you've maybe gone around a couple times. But it also, on the flip side of that, it can be somebody new coming your way, but it can be a repeated pattern depending on how you show up or what kind of people you're attracted to, or what is it that you are what keeps repeating itself. That's why it's hard to go this or that, because the cards it can reflect both. So the energy around you at the time is karmic-y. I see a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, a lot of earth coming through. And I see new beginning, and I get springtime. So this is also in the challenge, obstacle, but opportunity. So it tells me maybe right now you feel like you're waiting on somebody. And of course, like Taurus is right in the middle here, the bull, right? So when you see the bull there, like everybody always knows the bull goes the slowest. And, you know, very patient energy. But springtime is Taurus season too, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, but Taurus is coming through. So it could really be an earth sign. A new relationship. You are asking for new love. So this could even, you know, very, very new. You just haven't even met them yet. So your reading is being kind of clear though, that you do have new coming your way. Although I am seeing the Wheel of Fortune, which can also be showing me a past person. So you know, I see there's a lot of chemistry, sparks, you know, attraction between you and this. So very strong sexual energy. You know, the karma could be repeating your lesson if it's, you know, falling in love when it's chemistry, or falling in love at first sight. We're out of Pisces now. Neptune's out of Pisces. So that falling in love first sight and then thinking it's real and wondering if they have feelings for you the next day when they didn't stay for breakfast. This is not the time for that. This is not going to be the time for that. especially in the springtime too. There could be a new attraction coming your way. But if it's a karmic person and the only time you ever get together is, that one time, for that one thing, that could be what you're trying to break that cycle. Because even with a person that could potentially be long-term relationship, and this is difficult because sometimes you can have love at first sight, or you both just feel like it is, and but just think about all the patterns in the past, and is it worth it? Because if it is true love and you do decide to wait, they're going to stay anyways, right? So it's a win-win for you, if you just wait a little bit. All right. You also have a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius showing up for you. So you do have an air or an earth sign. So the earth sign could be the new, I'm not going to label it. It could be either or, but I did say the earth sign first. And maybe the past is an air sign. What does Spirit think you should do? Six of Swords. Keep on moving and grooving. Keep it simple and stay focused. It's telling you to navigate new waters. Head towards the new, but realize the pattern. The Five of Swords can be, playing mind games to deceiving yourself, or listening to lies, or listening to other people's gossip, or, listening to other people's truths rather than your own, or coming up with excuses. Making excuse after excuse after excuse. And this is saying, keep it simple and focused and keep moving forward towards, figure out what the pattern is so that you don't repeat it again. And you're headed in the right direction. All right. Things are clearing up for you, or will clear up for you. Thank you, Jenny. All right, so this is you. All right. All right, so you got a couple questions here. So let's start with the first one. How does Brian feel about you after your date and us talking from a distance? Let's see. Oh, look at this. The distance, the travel, and adventure just came out. So look at the sun. I mean, you're enjoying it. It seems like enjoyment. He enjoyed you. It was definitely an adventure. It was definitely fun, playful, gives you that romantic traction, fire, house 5 energy, and it also gives me, Sagittarius energy, probably more Sagittarius energy here, where it's just felt like they could open up around you, felt very positive, felt very comfortable, felt your vibe. And I don't think, distance in travel is a problem here. I feel like you may even, seem like it was worth it. All right. I mean, well, now I'm seeing there could be conflict. Maybe sometimes the distance crosses the mind, about, the distance might be a problem. It could be a problem in the future. But overall, it looks like pretty happy. I wouldn't, at this point, if this was your first date, or a first date in a long time, I would say that it's right where it should be. It's pretty positive and it looks healthy, healing, vibrant, like good. How does he how does he view you also and think you feel about him? So let's say you were a little bit standoffish, maybe a little bit timid at first. Um I don't know if you were a little bit shy when you were talking, communicating. Are you interested? Were they wondering if you really liked what you saw? Did you give cues? Did you show enough signals that you were interested? Because there's an energy here also of maybe feeling rejected in a way, not 100% certain about the connection. So that could be you. This is the main, but it can be you. There was something about not sure about how the other person felt. Is that your vibe? That's why I'm asking, like, are you sure because it can be you and you're projecting it. How does he think you feel? Maybe that's what's coming through. How does he think you feel? Maybe that you're not as interested. Let me see if I can get more. Ace of Pentacles. So, things are just getting started. It feels as though there's respect. There's an offer, solid offer from this person. I mean, the opportunity's there. It feels like this is a solid opportunity. And he feels like, there's value here. You're somebody he values building something or taking the next step, building something also. So I mean, it's like a practical step forward, like um grounded, serious energy. Maybe thinking about commitment too. This could be the start of a commitment. How does he think you feel about him? The Fool, the Ten of Wands, you know, do you feel like he's somebody that doesn't take risks, afraid to take risks? Um, is he under a lot of pressure, doesn't like to act foolish, or is kind of like, you know, very serious energy, gets overwhelmed easily, and tries to stay strong, doesn't know how to open up and maybe be playful. Maybe he's just overly cautious, when it comes to, or just like he holds back a lot. So he actually may think that you're He's not as exciting. He works a lot, or just he's not very exciting. He may be afraid that you rejected him, or that you will reject him. And I see the Queen of Swords too. Are you high maintenance? I don't know. He clearly thinks that you're attractive, intelligent. Maybe he's afraid of you judging him. Maybe he has. Oh, okay. So if I'm reading it wrong, maybe he's made some mistakes in the past. He doesn't want to act like a fool. He doesn't want to look like a fool. Um, I'm getting old over here. I don't have any cool ways to look at. I don't even know what dating's like anymore. It's but I am seeing here maybe is just too overly cautious and doesn't want to look like a fool. And there could be a sense of you judging, or you call him out. Are you Captain Call Out, or you just very blunt and speak your mind? That may stress him out a little bit. You may be more social than this one is, because you are showing up as being they're showing up as a fool. You're showing up as a queen. You know what I mean? Sort of a mother-child type of energy. Demanding? I don't want to make you mad. All right. Are you demanding? All right. So, where does Spirit think this relationship is headed? I see the World card. I mean, there's possibilities here for this to be very successful. And what does Spirit think you should do? The Chariot card. Stay focused, on what's important. Moving forward. Let's go. You're going to have your challenges, but also, are you really truly, is this your person? Are you interested in this person? Because it's more about, how do you feel? So that's also the Queen of Swords too. Try on a different perspective, or tap into your feelings instead of thinking about theirs. How did you feel? Because usually how you felt can mirror. And like, so if you feel good, they felt, most of the time it's because the person felt good too. I mean, unless they're just really, really good. But so how do you feel about it? That's what's most important. And that's what I got for you. All right. Yes, this is not membership. This is Tuesday's membership. But I put it up early on Tuesday mornings, so you can get your question in, Elsa. All right, let's see. Now we're going back to Cash App. All right. All right, Tony. What's your question, Tony? And then I do have a dark star. And then Kendra is there too. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, what's the future? All right. What's the future for you and your ex-wife? Let's see. Future for you and your ex-wife. I guess I want to get an oracle around it. Connection. All right. So right now I'm just getting sort of an energy. I wanted to see what the oracle would say about it. And I have hold on a sec. I had to clear my throat and get something to drink. Ancestral messages, connection, belonging, and asking for help tells me that you guys have history, have a past life, have karma together. And karma doesn't mean we always are meant to be together. Like it says belonging, right? Connection. Yeah, you're connected. You have a reason. There was reasons why we meet other people or we connect. But the karma can sometimes be, the lesson can sometimes be finding peace with the relationship and moving on. So you are getting, ask for help too as well. To me feels like the only way you could make this connection work is if your ex was willing to get help too. Right? You both have to have that Three of Pentacles. So you can try to reconcile all you want. If one is only like, I love you, but you can love, but not put the effort in. You can love and be lazy. And so there's no question that you guys are not connected or weren't meant to get married or wouldn't get married again. But like you can see, you feel juggled. You just feel like the effort's not there, or maybe there's always something else or someone else that is more important or gets in the way. So let's see what about the future. So the thing about the future is with tarot focuses on what's going on right now, and with the way things are right now, a future, I could pull cards that show a future, but that future is based off of what's happening right now. I can see what needs to change in order for you guys to reconcile, would probably give you a better answer. Because I could pull a card and it could say, oh, a future, 10 of Cups, you guys getting married again. But how you get there and will it, I'm going to look at I'm just explaining where it takes me. All right. So you do have a Page of Pentacles here. And the Page of Pentacles tells me that there is potential to make it work. but it's definitely going to take both of you guys compromising, trying to figure out, not just one of you, not just you compromising. We both got to we both have to understand one another and how each other ticks, how each other works. And I see the Chariot card. So it looks like, where there's a will, there's a way. And the Chariot card tells me that you guys may end up as friends again. You guys may try to reconcile again. But the overall is starting fresh and being able to start fresh and really lay down the groundwork, the rules to make it work. Somebody can return. She's got to return. And the Chariot card to me is like Jesus, returning. All right. More enlightened. So if she returns, which this does show a return here, take it slow. Make sure, there's some shifts happening. Especially if she's the one that, is the one that's juggled, or she's a Cancer too. So there is potential here for you guys to make this work. And let's see what else I get. I see the Two of Swords right now. She's just indecisive. You guys are not on the same frequency. You both care about each other, think about each other. But obviously torn energy, indecisive energy, inconsistent energy is where she's at. And, it's like you do feel like you're always juggled, or you're being juggled. I can see that. Like maybe you're not as important. She doesn't put your importance first, hot and cold too, Biggest challenge is judgment, making judgment calls, sticking to her decisions. 1 minute she says one thing, promises, and then the next minute it feels like she's lying, or she just isn't always honest. And there's a lot of guilt there and past stuff she's dealing with too. But she doesn't like to easily be honest or admit she's wrong. And she doesn't make the best judgment calls. She's also very sensitive to being judged. But the problem is she doesn't always work from her highest judgment, I guess is the... Maybe she just second guesses herself. Does she blame you for something, or vice versa? If there's any if there's been judgment going back and forth. So if there's been a lot of negative judgments back and forth, constant critiquing one another, blaming each other, that's this challenge, the judgment. It's like we place blame on one another. So it looks as though she's torn. It looks like she blames you, or blames somebody, or blames others. So she's somebody that blames everybody, or blames others for her stuff. Where's this headed? Right now I have the Four of Cups, so it doesn't look like it's headed anywhere right now. It feels stuck. She's got to process. You guys maybe need to. There's a stuck energy here with the Four of Cups. If you're the one that's the caretaker, you're the one that's given more, you're not getting back what you need. It seems as though she's got to figure out her own abandonment stuff. You know what I mean? She's got to figure out, realize what her problems are, who she's blaming, because it's not going to just happen with you. And it's going to happen, but everybody shows up for us to show us what we need to know about ourselves too. So are you taking on people that you've got to fix all the time, So she's also here to show you parts of yourself. but it feels like she's got to make it happen, because if she doesn't make it happen, she's going to do this again. Yeah. I'm sure. Well, if you're the one, if you're the one that feels like you're the most, responsible one, or always the one that has to kind of be the rock, usually I find that you're more earthy and self-reflective. Doesn't mean that your wife wasn't. I don't know her. So I think what's happening right now is there's a little bit of stuckness, depression. There's lack of awareness, or maybe wanting to deny or not face. Because when you have to wake up and face your when you're blaming other people, and you realize, or you project onto other people, and then you realize what you've been doing, when it hits, you go through your own self guilt. You feel really bad. You feel everything at once, like, oh my god, that feeling of awakening. Or when you see where you carried other people's shit too. We all got it, and some people take on others too. It looks as though she's got to go to that process, but she's got to be willing. She's got to be willing to any marriage, that leads to divorce, but you don't go get, or does, I feel like you should at least try to get help before it ends. And if she's not willing to get the resources or the emotional help, or, the good news is that, one, we already saw that you guys have a chance. Two, it feels like she knows it, but she's not ready to face the challenge, is the judgment. So she's just in this position where she may not be ready to face the truth of the forgiveness. Comes when she realizes that and forgives herself and takes accountability. That's not an easy challenge, that's for sure. You're judgy. Hey, at least you're open and honest. I'm judgy too. I can be that. I can be, Queen of Swords too. I see Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. We're all friggin' judgy. It doesn't even matter what sign you are. I don't give a shit. Everybody be casting their stones. Hello, Jeff. The idea is to catch yourself doing it and stop the cycle. All right. So, Kendra. Oh, you're a Sag. You hate lying. Of course you do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a Scorpio. I hate lying too, but a Sag is more. I'm going to be a Sag next lifetime. I'm a North Node Sag. My job is to not hold back. Scorpios hate liars, can see the truth right away, but I'm too sensitive. I get pissed off when people get mad when I call it the truth. And you're North Node Scorpio. We're switching places, right? I want to be a Sag. I want to tell somebody to F off and not give a shit. I want to call the shots in my next lifetime before I'm spiritually enlightened. I hope to get to spiritual alignment. And if I come back, we're going to go through a whole nother process. So during that time when I don't know what the spiritual enlightenment is, I want to be able to just be as blunt as shit and just tell everybody everybody. And then I can upgrade. Instead of a Scorpio standing behind a rock, hiding, defensive, like, don't want to tell you the truth because, oh no, you're gonna freak out. Sagittarius is like number one on the, serial killer list for a reason. They don't give a shit. Not that I want to come back as that though. All right. So it goes Kendra, then Mel. And all right, I see your question. All right, Missing Virgo. 6 years together. Those damn Virgos, I was married to a Virgo. Rough day. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's a long time. Let's see the energy around Cancers and their elephant emotions, elephant brains. You will never forget it. There was a lot of arguments, conflict, and tension, and personality conflicts. You guys triggered each other, maybe a lot towards the end. Okay, there's conflict for a reason, and you're in a place right now where you're feeling grief today, okay? And you're grieving, so it's easy to say what you want to hear, and then it may feel good and it'll give you hope. So I'm wary of that. I mean, I don't want to do that. I don't want to give you false hope is what I'm saying. All right. You still have to process your emotions and accept that it's over, because the process, the anger, the internal conflict is here for a reason. So being able to process it and grow and be able to move. Your job is to heal yourself now. There is potential here for you guys. I'm seeing that they're still very attracted to you. I have working on it, planning, maybe even working on it together. Maybe we'll get together. We'll try again. And I'm seeing time to celebrate. So I am seeing potential. The timeline you're on, it does show that there's potential for you guys to make it work again. But it's being covered by this anger, the internal conflict, the not being able to process intense emotions, fighting. And maybe you're not. Maybe you're just still going through the process and needing to, process it. But there is potential here for you guys to, in time, it may take time, to try again. And I can say that with experience too. You've had a very long relationship. This wasn't a quick. This was definitely a long relationship. You know. So let's see him and what his biggest challenge was with the connection. Only take what resonates when I do this. If you feel triggered or feel like it's not you, not the reason, just null and void. Because sometimes it can not, it doesn't feel good. I do see the 10 of Pentacles. So they were very invested with you at one time. You both were. This is family. This is, you both were loyal to each other. You guys both definitely felt it. Now him, I see the Knight of Pentacles. His biggest challenge, the Chariot card. So did he feel like he wasn't accomplished, or he wanted to focus on his career, or he wanted to focus on pursuing other investments or his health? Did it have something to do with travel, with work, with not going in the same direction, or just, is there something around procrastination or feeling like they were being held back, right? So his focus was, it feels like, and that's your Virgo energy, the Knight of Pentacles. The problem was, it seems like their focus shifted, or they became uncertain. There was too many obstacles between the two of you. Criticism, judgment, perfectionism, high standards. So that's exactly what's showing up. You felt like we weren't growing, and that's the Chariot as a challenge. It feels like we're stuck. We're not pursuing. We're not working together here. And so he may have taken that personal. So now it looks like he's focusing mainly on his career or work. So how does he view you right now? Page of Wands. He still wants you. Like I said, I want to kiss you came up. So if there was a strong sexual connection, playful connection, that is still there, but it looks like the commitment or the investment and the effort, he wasn't putting as much effort into this to fix this than as you were. Right? I think there was something to do with that. It also could be he's just looking for more fun. He's always serious, and he's a Virgo. Virgos were going through a lot right now, a lot about relationships right now, a lot of career changes with Virgo. And so they may just be wanting to not focus on, everything. And they may have wanted to shift their focus to being more of a, like lighten things up and have fun. Because this can be dull too. You're saying he was comfortable. It looked like he was stuck in his ways. He's good to go. He's focused on his own routine, his own things. Any potential moving forward? Can you try again? I see the Ace of Cups. So you are getting, there is potential for you guys to try again, but right now you guys are not focused you're not focused in the same direction. It looks like you want more effort. You want them to fix things. You want them to show up. You want them to keep their promises. You want them to invest more, to work harder. And they're saying, I want to play. I want to play, not work. I want to have fun. The Ace of Cups is showing me there's still love there, and there's still potential in the future for you guys to work it out. What does Spirit think you should do? You got to keep moving forward and keep your options open. This in manifesting, my advice comes from manifesting. You don't want to stay stuck on somebody because you'll stay in the same energy. And if they come back in, you don't want to both be reminded or remembering each other from the sad, being sad. You want to be attractive. And so if we pull somebody back in too soon, they see grief on our face or they see disappointment. And so that's not attractive. So they avoid us, right? But if we're doing our own thing, focusing on moving forward, and we're looking good and attractive, and then the ship comes back around and they come in, and this is where you're more confident. But now the ball's in your court because you're in a much better place and you can decide whether you want to move forward or not. But in the energy that you're in, if he were to come back right now, it might just go right back to the same old, same old. Nothing will change. But there's potential for the future. So remember, you are grieving right now. I don't want to, put false hope or anything out there like that. But you even have the 10 of Pentacles too, which tells me I am sending you a lot of love. All right, so I have Byrd Dr, and I think that's it. All right, romantic vibes check. All right. All right. Is there a dark star? It says for clarification. Oh, Ellie, I didn't see you there. Yeah, when you're good, you're amazing. Thank you for stopping by, Ellie. That's okay. I'm not going anywhere, hopefully. Did you like my setup? All right, romantic vibes. Romantic vibes. Thank you. I like it too. It's one of my favorite. All right. Ooh. All right. I'm picking up on somebody that's been hot and cold with you, but new doors are opening. So soon you're going to have another option, a new arrival. I see friends, fun, support around you. There could be a friend that has romantic feelings for you. Somebody who likes music like you do, somebody who does the same thing you do, or you just feel very supported by this person or receive support from this person, have fun with this person. you're comfortable with this person. But I'm seeing new arrival, and it could be you're in springtime, right? It could be coming up. We're not that far away from there. So a new beginning. But I also see that you could be dealing with somebody who's been hot and cold. So you could have a couple energies around you, very warm energy and a very cold energy. Is there anybody specific? Can you give me a specific sign or who's around you? Hello, Emma. Good. I see the 6 of Cups. So it's a soulmate vibe. It's somebody you think about, somebody, it definitely could be somebody from your past too, you know, an old friend. But it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you think. It could be a friend, an old friend that you used to hang out with. It could be somebody you met recently and developed a friendship and didn't think anything of it. But we're seeing sort of a soulmate energy. And we're seeing also meeting somebody new, a soulmate, right? It could be a Virgo energy. This could be somebody's very long distance and somebody that you met a long time ago. Maybe it's been quiet since then, all right? And I see the 6 of Wands. So it could be somebody who's very successful, somebody you know online, somebody who's very popular in the public or social media, things like that. Strong fire energy. Feels like a strong Leo energy coming through. Very emotional energy, fire, and very, you know, it's a good energy. It's a very supportive energy. So there's definitely somebody coming towards you that this could turn into something more stable. But there's also a past energy, somebody that's been hot and cold. I don't know, Joy. I heard that there's a possibility. It's been cold here, and I know the rest of the country, like I know so many people are very cold right now, but believe me, in Florida, it feels just as cold to us as it does to you, 60 below, blowers up in Alaska. It feels like that to me in the morning when it's 30 degrees or 40 degrees because we're conditioned to the humidity in the sun. And I'm a baby. And hello, Debbie Byrd. What's up? This is your first live new sub. I've been getting all my new subs kind of popping in and showing up. I have a new heads up. I have a new for a couple of years I was doing every month say happy birthday. You could win a reading. But now I'm gonna be the 100th person who can comment on a video can get a free personal reading, a 30-minute personal reading. But you have to be the 100th person, the 100th comment. So all signs is a good opportunity. You know, and but my individuals, because those are growing, and that's where a lot of my subs, because I haven't been going live as much, but that's going to be a contest that I'm slowly kind of sneaking in there. But I have Dark Star, and is there a Dark Star here? It says here for clarification. But I don't know if you already got a reading and you're looking for clarification. So if Darkstar could email me and let me know after I shut this down, your name and if I did a read-in for you or if this was a continuation, and what you want me to do. if you want me to put you first on Monday, or if you want a refund, or if you're somebody I already did a reading for, but I'm not recognizing the name, could you just let me know? And I will see you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys. Today's Friday, right? Yeah, today's Friday. I'll see you guys Monday. I have All Signs Debbie Monday. So that'll be live. And I'll be doing this again on Monday. Mondays and Fridays. All right, guys. I love you. Take care. Have a great weekend. And stay warm if you're where the snow is.